Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. JTV Hot Trends, the hottest show on the planet. And we have more royalty in the studios. Joining us now, we have Miss British Virgin Islands 2016, Miss Erica Creaky. How you doing?
I am good. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you doing this evening?
I am well, and it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much.
Now, the show was in August. We're now going into November. A couple of months have passed. How's it been going for you so far as Miss
It
Bvi?
has been going tremendous. I get to meet lovely people over here.
Hey, girl.
So I've attended many events. I get to advocate. My platform is sustainable development, so I get to speak to the children about that. So I'm big on, like Mrs. Bvi said, no plastic bag use, no littering. And I'm currently partnering with Green VI, where we're initiating a recycling program where you throw all your plastics one place, a glass one place, and then they all go and get recycled. So the stuff with the bags, it's really a good initiative to carry your reusable bags with you. Like Mrs. Bvi said earlier, carry your plates to the to the restaurant
to get your food.
Yeah, because it's really important that we sustain what we have and what we call home. Because you have children, right?
Yes.
I'm planning to have some one day.
Yes.
You know, we want our children to have the luxury that we have today. The nice beaches, the fishes. We want them to enjoy the nice air. So we want to make sure that all these things are here for when our children grow older.
Let's take it back a bit. So you heard that applications were out to run for the show for Miss Bvi, vie for the title of Miss Bvi.
Well,
why did you decide to run for such a prestigious title?
Well, Miss British Virgin Islands has been a dream from since I was a little girl.
Okay.
You know, I was a tomboy growing up.
Really?
And I like to, let's say, transform. So I like to sometimes get in mommy's heels with the same size shoes. It's awesome. Her boot a little bit too big, so I can't wear her pants. But so I wear her shoes, you know, I walk around in heels, and then I go back to my boy stage. So it was like a transition, because I've done Miss Fifth Form before. I've done Miss Teen Bvi.
Okay.
I wasn't successful, but I wanted to know that I can do it. So I wanted to try something new and see what I can bring to the table while being outside of my comfort zone.
Right.
So here I am.
Here you are, Miss Bvi 2016. Now, I remember for this show, your talent. Tell us a little bit about your talent. What is it exactly you were depicting? I remember the big ring hula hoop thingy.
Yes.
And you were dancing, and you did a fantastic job. The crowd went wild. Tell us about your talent that night.
So my talent is actually called a simple wheel or a sire wheel. So it was actually self-taught as well.
Really?
I was doing the pageant last year, so I bought the wheel from California last year. So I was practicing by myself, and then I decided to go to school last year. So I put it down. It's been in my car for like about a year.
That could fit in your car?
It goes in 5 pieces.
Oh, see,
it's a 5-piece ring. So yeah. So and then this year we had about 8 weeks for the show. So I still didn't know how to manipulate the ring as good as I should.
Right.
But I practiced every day, made sure I got my spins, my turns. And then the show night was all about me and what I can bring out in hard times.
Right.
So it was a challenge, learning the ring. I actually had to improv my talent.
Really?
Yes.
You couldn't tell?
So about, let's say, not even halfway, into the first verse of the song, the wheel got caught on the stage somewhere, and I lost my first 4 counts, and it was like, you better improvise or you go home tonight with no crown on your head. So that's what I did.
You couldn't tell, because I remember one particular point. It was actually at the end where you lift yourself on. That was it for me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. Best talent, hands down, that's it.
Well, for me, it was, you better work it or you go home. So, you know, I get to, even though I had a routine for my talent, I got to showcase and bring out myself. Because, you know, you say improv. And if I messed up, you don't know that I messed up. Only who taught me my dance, and they didn't know either.
Oh, honey child.
They were like, hey, you did a good job.
Couldn't tell at all. Now, what would you say was the most difficult part of the pageant in terms of preparing, maybe even the night of the show? What was the most difficult?
The most difficult part was definitely preparations. I currently work as a drafting technician at an engineering company.
Okay.
So I meet with clients, I go off island, I'm normally dressed in Timberlands, a jean pants and a t-shirt.
Right.
And a hard hat.
Right.
So it was basically leaving work, going to appearances, changing your clothes, make sure your hair is fixed. You know, I maybe go to work in the morning time, I had on lipstick or well, lip gloss and some eyeshadow. You leave the job site and it's all gone. Sun, everything, it's all
Right.
gone. So that's my biggest challenge.
Preparation.
Transition between work and making sure that I look presentable for all my events.
Right.
And when you see me on the road, it's like, oh, she looks nice.
She's vying for Miss Bvi.
Yes, and what I like about it as well, I got to be different. So everyone knows me as, I used to be a fire officer
Really?
also. So everybody knows me as, you know, she wears her boots and her pants. And then I come to be all dressed in heels and whatnot. So preparation was definitely my hardest part.
Right. So now let's go back to question and answer. Question and answer. You know, I've never really been, well, I've never been in a pageant, or I should probably say I've never really been put on the spot. But what goes through your mind at that point? You're hearing, and this year you guys got 2 questions. Honey, child, my phone was like, I almost dropped everything. I was like, 2 questions?
Yes.
Y'all got 2 questions this time around. But what is it? What goes through your mind? Well, what went through your mind when you heard the questions for the first time?
So question and answer. In practice, you're scared, but it's like, okay, you have to get this done and answer your questions. On show night, all my practice went
Floop, out the door.
Good evening. Thank you for that question. To bring awareness to my platform of sustainable development, I would love to have workshops where I can include the younger generation and the older generation to come together and partake in learning about how we need to keep our environment clean, the way we need to preserve our culture, and how we need to make sure that the BVI is great forever.
it was like, close your eyes, listen to your question, and just answer to your best. Because you know your introduction. It's something that you learned.
Right.
So you do practice, you do on the stage. Done. Cultural wear, you're dancing. What else would we have? Swimwear, strutting your stuff. And then you have talent. I danced for talent. That was nice. And then you have question and answer.
Yeah.
So literally, we were all outside. Number 1 went first, and then we were all outside in the back. You couldn't hear anything. And we're all outside, and our legs are shaking. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
I hope this goes well. I hope this goes well. And then when you get out there, because before, you're just doing your thing, and you know what you're doing. And I know you're out there, but I don't know you're out there.
Right.
For question and answer now, you know, you hear all the, ooh,
You can hear
you know,
a pin drop.
so it's like an extra kind of, I can't describe it, like a mind-chilling, nervous. And I could see myself on the back screen like this.
Shaking.
I was like, Erica, calm down. Yeah,
Right.
it's a nerve-wracking feeling.
Well, you know, I've never been in a
It's a
pageant.
nerve-wracking
but
feeling.
I figure that by now, I mean, some people should realize that a lot of the things that they say in the beginning of the question is just a lot of fluff. You got to
Like the
listen to the
fluff.
end part. The end part of the question is what really is important. And then you formulate your answer.
I wouldn't
based on that
say
end
not
part.
all the time, because they can ask you what, when, why, or where initially. So it's always important, even though you have people out there listening to you and making noise, it's always important that you close your eyes and you listen to what the person is saying. So something that I learned before that I don't think would be any good to me, Miss Universe, but I learned this is the question the first time.
Right.
You take it in the second time. They say the first time you listen, the second time you make sure you think of your answer.
Right.
Yes, but for Miss Universe, it's different, where they ask a question once. So you better make sure you're listening the first time.
Right.
Or
'Cause
else
you don't get a second chance.
no.
Right.
So for right now, for local patents, a technique that you can use is make sure the first time you ask the question, you listen to the question, and then the second time when the person is asking the question, you make sure you formulate your answer, and you make sure that it goes smooth sailing. But it sounds simple, but when you get there, it's like,
I guess.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
But you're really hearing.
Canada.
So you mentioned Miss Universe. You're gearing up to go to
Yes, I
Miss Universe,
am.
and it's taking place where this year?
They say it's in the Philippines. We have
Ooh.
no official confirmation yet,
Mhm.
but talk is right now it's in the Philippines
Right.
in January.
January.
So I'm all excited. I'm getting my costume done, my fancy evening wear.
Mm-hmm.
There will be no surprises. You'll see it when we see it.
Right.
Yes, and I think that Miss Universe is aired live, so you
Yes.
can all gather around and
Mm-hmm.
watch.
What are you hoping to gain from this experience in Miss Universe? Because this is like a huge show. Nothing like the Miss BVI pageant here.
No. So Miss Universe is basically you have from 90 to 100 girls all competing for the same title. So basically, I would like to put the BVI on the map. You know, we have gone previous years, and I would like to evaluate what have been done before and make sure that I can go and maybe do better.
Right. So
To
I was
make
going to
sure-
ask you, like,
Yeah,
what are
I-
some
I
of the
want
things you're
to-
going to do differently?
Well, our costume design for this year is a whole new task of concept.
Okay.
So hopefully that is really seen and caught on the spotlight. You know,
But what is it that they look for in Miss Universe?
Miss
Do you
Universe
know?
is like usually interviews. So it's a
Right.
more like an intellectual
Pageant, okay.
pageant. Yeah, and you do your charities, and they're basically looking for a wholehearted person.
Right.
So it's what you do and what you can bring to the table as a person, the kind of person that you are.
Right.
You can be the prettiest person, but doesn't mean that you're the kindest person.
Right.
So it's what you can bring to the table is what they're looking for.
Okay. So apart from Miss Universe, what else do you have lined up? Are you taking part in any other pageants in the Caribbean, in the region?
Well, pageants right now, I'm not too sure about anything else right now, but I'm sure about Miss Universe.
Yeah.
Well, as time goes by, we'll see what works out. Right now, I'm just doing advocating about keeping the BVI clean, the importance of sustainable development in the BVI,
Right.
and why we should take care of our BVI. You know, we are the BVI.
We are the BVI.
Exactly.
I'm happy that you said that.
We are
because
the BVI.
You are the ambassador
Yes,
for the
I
BVI. So if you are now put to the challenge, not really a challenge, but if you have visitors coming in, let's say you're down at the ports, and you have some visitors coming in, what would you tell them about the BVI? What would you tell them to enjoy about
So,
the BVI?
about that, last week, Thursday, I had the pleasure of going to the Pier Park and welcoming the Viking ship passengers. So they were going on tour in Virgin Gorda. So the lady asked me, "You're an ambassador. Where should I go in Virgin Gorda?"
Right.
Or, because you're going to Virgin Gorda. So they had two different groups. So the lady going to Virgin Gorda, I told her about the baths. Make sure she goes and enjoy the baths. You go take the ride up to North Sound, enjoy Hog Haven, where you can look over and see Anegada. Just make sure that you have a whole island tour, you know?
Right.
Because even though we have Sun, Sea, and Sand to offer, it's nice to go and sightsee the way our buildings were constructed back in the day, the friendly people,
Right.
and they come from a cold place.
Yeah.
They came from, most of them was from Canada
Okay.
and all the other very, very cold places. So they're always looking for something nice and warm and friendly
Right.
that makes them feel okay.
Yeah, but why the BVI? Though?
The
'Cause
BVI
you have
is-
Jamaica, you have Cuba is now open.
Yes.
So
So
why the BVI?
The BVI is considered the sailing capital of the world.
Yes.
The BVI has some lovely cuisine, you know, our famous red bean pea soup with milk and sugar. Do you like that?
Of course, you
I
can't
love
have
it.
it without the sugar. and the milk.
Exactly. So, you know, it offers a lovely guest experience. You know, where else in the world can you go and find warm, nice, loving people? You go, because everywhere you go, you hear good morning, good afternoon. You go other places, it's like good morning, and they're just watching you like, where are you from? You know, so we offer a nice guest experience. You can go to the beach, you can relax, if enjoy the water if you want, go to the beach bar, get a drink, you know. It's all about feeling relaxed and having that lovely guest experience. That's what we offer.
Good stuff. Well, Miss Cricky, I see that you're doing very well as the ambassador for the
Yes,
BVI.
yes.
And I hope things go really well. Well, if
Thank
they confirm
you.
the Philippines, wherever it is. I
I'll
hope-
be excited. I will make sure that I let you know where it is.
Please
Definitely
do. Please
will
do
do
that.
that.
Is there any way that we can follow you? Do you have a page, Facebook page, that we can follow you in your preparation for the show?
So my fan page on Facebook would be Miss British Virgin Islands 2016. So I post different events I'm at, what I'm doing, keep up with BVI on that page.
Yeah.
Then I have my personal page, this is my name, Erica Creaky. I also have Instagram, which is Miss BVI 2016. I have Snapchat, MS
Ooh, you got
BVI
everything.
2016. Well, you have to keep up because
Yes.
most of my followers, well, the young girls look up to me.
Yes.
And they say, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah.
And I tell them, be like yourself. You know, you can be yourself with a crown on your head. You can feel like a queen if you want to feel like a queen. You know,
They're just using you as inspiration.
yes, they are. So I hosted a girls' luncheon in Virgin Gorda 2 weeks ago, and the girls were like, "Do you have Snapchat?" And I can't really use Snapchat,
But you have-
but I have Snapchat. So they're just schooling me, like, look, see, so this is this filter. You
Yeah.
press this and you do that. I'm like, okay, thanks. I got a whole full lesson
So you
on
have to
Snapchat.
stay up to date.
Yeah.
All right. So we can follow you on those different social media sites.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Well, is there anybody you want to thank? Anybody?
I want to thank everyone who have supported me thus far, my chaperone, the committee, my whole team, mom, dad. Thank you for having me here.
Pleasure.
I want to thank the whole BVI, you know, because it's been a pleasure being able to represent the BVI. And if it wasn't for the BVI, you know,
Yeah.
where would I be?
Good stuff. Well, it was a pleasure having you in
Thank
the studio.
you very much.
And we look out for you. We're going to be looking out for you for Miss Universe.
You better.
And, different things within the community.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank
good
you.
stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, JTV Hot Trends, you know how we do it. All you got to do is keep it locked.